Like I've told you, I'm being contacted left and right by these people. And this one says, "Hello there, Hayden." And as you can see, chief recruiter at Illuminati Recruit, like I told you, they're trying to indoctrinate me. And they're trying to intimidate me into joining them, both online and offline. After a short conversation, he says, "I'm aware of the lizards after you," after I showed him a couple of my videos. But he didn't really watch them. He just kind of said that right away. "I have footage and conversations of satanic lizard people. We're here to protect you." No, you're not. You've been chosen in your community to become a lead. Now, I don't know if you know this, but that's not as normal as you might think. Whether or not he is a human or not, whether or not he works them or not, that's not a normal way to respond to that, like using body language. And combine that with all the fact that the people with the triangles and stuff like that hunt me and intimidate me and try and stalk me around town, and recently have been making the nuclear threats and even biological warfare threats that I have on footage, on tape. So you have to combine all these factors together and understand that for the past couple months, I have been basically like almost haunted by these people. And you have to understand that there's so many ways that they're after me that if you were to add it all up together and look at each individual person and look at the commonalities between them and the similarities, you would realize that there's something much bigger going on here. It goes much more deeper down the rabbit hole than just me being, you know, me. It goes down to the fact that they're after you and they don't like what I speak about, because if you know me, I have an awareness page about current events, World War III and World War events, that talks about a coming civil war and World War III and nuclear warfare and the problems of humanity and trying to create communities in order to rebuild society and make it so people are productive and happy and responsible and have some sort of motivation, inspiration in their life, and have religion and meaning or some sort of moral belief system to make them not want to commit crimes and to do good things for themselves and for their communities and live a good life. And I am their worst enemy. And if you look at all the different various ways that they are stalking me, you would realize that it is increasing to a nuclear threat today, which they told me they would initiate a nuclear strike in the world to try and make me feel bad about saying anything, but I know they're planning that already anyways. So obviously I went ahead and said something, and then there I look, and I broke my phone. So on my way there, apparently they commented on my YouTube with a person named 1,000 Suns. And 1,000 Suns asked me for my email. And 1,000 Suns is also a reference to when Oppenheimer was talking about nuclear weapons. So I'd like anyone who is watching this to understand that it would take hours to really understand what's going on with all these different people, both online and off. And with everything I research, everything I look up, there's a reason why they're after me. And one of the reasons why they're after me is because they don't want me warning you. Because you've been trained to believe that aliens have to be, mostly science and technology and knowledge and all that stuff. And if they were hostile, it'd be like them blowing stuff up when that's not true. If they're hostile, who's to say they're not evil? And if they're evil, who's to say they're not technically demons? And if they're technically demonic, why not jump the gun and say, well, the lizard Illuminati, in the Bible it talks about the dragon being the devil and the serpent being Satan. The Satan and the devil being the same thing. So the serpent and the dragon are the same thing, and the lizard shapeshifters, if they're related to the devil, And shapeshifters are also related to the jinn, is also called the devil. So the devil is a shape-shifting lizard person. Satanic Illuminati isn't just satanic; it's just the devil. And I have evidence for everything I say. It just sounds too crazy because you're using. It's a form of optimism bias. It's a form of all of these things. Almost denial, just disbelief, um, and just what you're trained to believe in life. What you're trained to think could be real versus could not be real. And these are the tactics they use against people is by trying to control what you watch and what you read, and that has a powerful effect on what you can believe, what you can say, what you might say, the possibilities of what you can believe, what you can say, and that's why they don't like me, because I know a lot about the mind and how to influence people for the better or for the worse, but I would never do for the worse. I would always do for the better. So these people are after me, and they just don't get that I won't ever give in and cave into them, because they don't have. I preach against materialism and money and fame and all these things that they have to offer, and so I'm not really interested, and I can't really feel fear that much because I don't know. I'm just not really scared of them. I mean, really no particular reason for that. Um, but I think that everyone needs to do something about these people, and that not every single one of these people is a lizard person, but a lot of them might be, and it's something that should be looked out for and considered a possibility that you might as well just see the green lizard people drive around cars, and if you saw that, the FBI would be called, the CIA would be called, the Men in Black would be called, the KGB, the everywhere, CCP. This is my the threats that are being made on me need to go global, and every government needs to be alerted that there may be demonic, evil shapeshifters walking around pretending to be human, taking up their votes and resources, and even hurting civilians, and trying to get into positions of power, and take control of culture and things like that, and that it's a very, very real possibility. That there's no reason to think that this can't be real. Um, I mean, why not? If your only answer is because it seems too evil or too crazy, then, well, there's something to all this. Obviously, the okay sign once in a while is okay. You think it's a fad, though? I mean, there's people in celebrity groups that talk about satanic rituals and talk about Satanists, and weird, crazy stuff from all over history and stuff like that. Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, once in a while it's gonna be normal, but I think there's something going on. In fact, I know there is. So let's all investigate this. I mean, do you really think it's okay to sit down, do nothing, and just say whatever? I mean, they're after you. They're after you just as much as me. They're just after me first because I know the most. You ever seen the Vatican? This is the Vatican. They are trying to control not only what you watch and what you believe and what you read. They want to control. This is a form of belief, but religion. And Satan is known for drinking blood and eating flesh, and that's exactly what they want Jesus to be like. So the lizard people, Satan, the serpent, it might as well be literally I mean, they're the devil. The devil's real. There's no other way. The greatest lie ever told was the devil convincing people he wasn't really real. I mean, crazy things like this are a high possibility, and there's no real reason to say that it's definitely 100% not real when it could be. This is just the Denver National Airport, and these are the murals there. And a statue made by some random guy has Mason symbols on it called the New World Airport Commission with the New World Order. on the dollar bill. It's on the currency you use. It's the devil. So I hope someone can understand why they might be after me, and that I'm not just some crazy person. There's a reason why they've contacted me, online, offline, using over 50 people to try and lie to me in all these various different ways, and I just won't give in because I think I can beat them. Because I'm smart enough to know that the whole government doesn't work with them, and that there's people who fight to protect this country, and that they would do anything to get pedophiles out of the government and end corruption, and that it wouldn't matter whether I'm on the left or right spectrum or they're on the left or right spectrum or anyone or anything is on a left or right spectrum, and that they would understand that the world heading towards an authoritarian new world type of fascism, whatever you want to call it, demonic type of government of technocratic autocracy. Of it's just it's basically just there's no real there's no need for definitions. It's just might as well call it demonic government is what they want, and they want it so checks and balances will get it so that my reporting won't be able to get to all different parts of the government, and I'm hoping that the things I'm reporting on to the government get out, and that someone in the government will understand the amount of danger that they're in and that they face, and that it's on the hands of someone who can actually be in power to do something. I only have so many resources, and I only have so many means of doing something about this. And that if someone from the government is to ever see this, which is what I'm planning on and will keep doing, because these people aren't going away, and I know it, and the signs and evidence of them being real in the world aren't going either, as their plans aren't nearly over yet. Their new world order can't be accomplished for years. So there's years to catch them, and years for a bunch of people in the government to say, well, if there's aliens everywhere, we need to start looking around, like Men in Black. And then I also need people in the government to be like, well, why would if there's supposedly replacement everywhere, I want to make sure these orders are being carried out. I want to make sure there's someone looking into this. I want to make sure that it's not just being passed off to a bureaucratic system where someone's going to be like, okay, my job is to pass this paper, my job is to press this button, my job is to do this, and then it's like 10 people that press buttons and it gets passed off to someone who's just going to be like, well, I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm going to ignore that evidence. So hope someone can see this and realize what's really going on is that you've all been lied to, and the devil's real, and that means God would be real too. You would think, right? So I have evidence for everything, and hope that someone will dig through the. Someone can look into my evidence and see what I see, at least a little bit clearer than they already do, and understand that I'm not nearly as crazy as the people would want you to think. So,